Good morning. We have day 15 of our Bible reading plan this morning, John chapter 7, verse 53 down through 8:11, which is the story of the woman caught in adultery. Now, the big question that we have to answer on this passage of Scripture is, first of all, is it Scripture? Is it a passage of Scripture? Is this part of the Bible? You'll see in brackets. Your text is probably in brackets. If you have a modern version, some versions don't even have it in there, and they put it way down at the bottom in a footnote. And so we have to answer this right away. Is this part of the Bible? So, one of the things that when you read it, you think, does this sound like a real Jesus story? And it does. It sounds like something Jesus did, something uh, that fits in line with Jesus' character. So the indication is this is a real story that Jesus did. It's, however, not in the original book of John. And when we find the oldest versions of the book of John, it's not there. It didn't show up for hundreds of years later, as it got stuck into copies of the book of John. When it did come in, it got stuck in different places. And sometimes it's even in the book of Luke, stuck in that book. So what we think is that it was written probably by somebody else. The vocabulary and style is a little bit different, and it seemed to have fit right here. And so it started to be put in there in some of the copies. But that really doesn't matter, because God is the one that told all the human writers what to write. And God is the one that guides the process of preserving his message to us. If we think that God is so strong he can run the whole world, do you not think that he's strong enough to get his message across to you? And so the fact that it's in all the things that have been sent down to us through the years, and it's been protected through the translations and through the different people that guard texts and put them together and study them out. God superintends that whole process, including the scholarship of the people that run this. And so we believe probably written by somebody else. But is it part of Scripture? It is now. The answer is it's really an authentic story. This really did happen. Jesus really did do this. And it was really written down and collected into all the stuff that Jesus was doing. And so it does belong in the Bible. So, but we can look at it as a separate unit that's kind of stuck in here. So, as it's part of the Scriptures, what is it that this thing is teaching us? Now we've settled that issue. What is it that this part is teaching us? Well, first of all, we do need to notice that this woman was caught by herself in the act of adultery, which definitely requires two people. So the claim already is false, because if they caught her in the act, they would have caught two. They would have brought them both in. It's really a trap. We show that it is definitely a trap. They're trying to get Jesus to either say Old Testament doesn't have to be obeyed, or the Roman law doesn't have to be obeyed. And the Roman law would not allow Jews to pronounce the death sentence. So either way, it seemed like he was going to be in trouble. He is never trapped by people. Nobody is smart enough to get Jesus over a barrel like that. And so he starts writing in the dirt. We don't know what he's writing. It's a good guess to think he was probably putting some incriminating evidence against the people that were in the crowd, and so they started peeling off one by one. And when there's nobody to accuse, the case has to be dismissed. It's interesting that Jesus let the civil authorities handle civil cases, and he was really interested in the spiritual case, which that can apply directly to us. He says, I don't condemn you. As Christians, we don't feel the condemnation of God. Romans 8:1 tells us we don't live under condemnation. We also, as Christians, we get to go a different way. Go and sin no more. Now that's our challenge daily. Choose that other path. Great story, true story, and true to our lives story. Be blessed today.